What's up, guys? So in this video, we're going to be talking about balance theory, what it is, how I use it for my trading, and how it can make you a lot of money and help you understand the stock market a little bit better. So let's go ahead, dive right into it. So we're going to go ahead and look at Boeing for the first example of balance theory. Now, what is essentially balance theory, right? Balance theory is essentially the idea that price is always inside of a balance. Not always, but majority of the time, you'll see price is within a range, okay? We call that balance. Right, so usually you'll be able to see it when there's a very clear high and a very clear low. Okay, so we have this clear high up here, clear low up here, right? So that's kind of your balance range right there. Okay, now when price is inside of balance, you'll typically see it very similar to how support and resistance works. And the way I trade balance theory is actually pretty similar to it, but it has a slight tweak variation that has allowed me to become very profitable with it. Okay, and I'm going to explain that a little bit down in this video. But we have this balance, right? Price is in a very clear channel, right? Aside from, being an uptrend or maybe price being in a downtrend, price can be in a balance. We're just ranging and consolidating. Now, when you see this, there's a specific trade that you can do for balance, right? And what you're doing is essentially trading the rotation. And what I mean by that is price is always going to be looking go to highs and lows. Okay, if we have a high, we have a low, that's liquidity. That's where price wants to go towards. When price wants to go towards liquidity, it's going to want to rotate down to the other side if we find a strong enough advantage of sellers or buyers on either side. Okay, that may didn't make sense, but let me go ahead and explain it. All right. So let's say again, this right here is our range, right? We have a resistance here. We have a support here, right? Very clear, very easy to identify what's going on here. Now let's assume price decides to break out. Okay, so we break out, we get a push up to 255, and then immediately price comes back inside. What's that happens? We have a false breakout, okay? And so there's two things going on while this is happening, okay? We have a push of buyers, right? So we have a bunch of buyers who are buying this breakout, right? Buyers right here are buying this breakout. Change to purple. So we have buyers taking the breakout trade, right? Retail is buying this breakout. You also have the stop loss of all of these guys here. So everyone who's short in this area, they have their stop right above these highs, okay? And so when you have the combination of new buyers coming in and the combination of, a bunch of stop losses up here, when price comes out, there's going to be a ton of buying, right? So we're going to see a very, very quick spike, very quick move, okay? When you see that very quick move, what happens next is very, very important, right? So if price ends up coming immediately back down, then what happens, right? We have two things happening as well, right? Everyone who bought here, everyone who's buying the breakout is now underwater, right? So the buyers here are now swimming, they're down on their position, and they're worried, right? They don't really know what to do, and a lot of times they'll stop out when price comes back down into this range or back below this level, right? The other thing you have is that if price comes back down immediately in this range, that means there's somebody or multiple people who were holding the stock up here. Okay, they were shorting it up here, right? Because otherwise price would have kept going up. But when we see a huge amount of sellers come in here, right? That's when we know there's institutional activity and we see that quick move downward, right? Because everyone, again, all of retail who's shorting here, they have their stops above here. Price is being pushed up. And if we see that immediate reversal, we know that there was institutions who were shorting all of the stop losses being hit, right? When you're short and you need to cover, you have to buy to cover your stop loss. And so when you buy, somebody else needs to sell. And so when you have somebody who is selling a bunch in shares, all the way up here, and the price immediately reverses, you have somebody who's an institutional seller up here. And so when you notice that, and you see the combination of, okay, we have buyers pushing price up, now buyers are underwater, they're going to have to sell, plus we have institutions selling. There's so much selling pressure, price is going to dive down. Okay, price is going to nosedive. And when you see this happening, you can take the rotation because you know for a fact that price is going to come down to the bottom of this balance area. Like I said, price is in balance, price is in range. Okay, it's an auction. There's sellers up here, there's buyers down here, right? And so when we see that happening, you know that price is going to come back down to the other side of that balance. And so all I'm doing, all of these balance theory trades that I'm doing is taking rotation trades, right? So I'm waiting for price to get that false breakout, come back inside, and then rotate down to the other side of balance. Okay, this works on all time frames. It works on all stocks. This is how markets move. Okay, now I just explained how the behind the trade works with the stop losses and what's actually happening. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some different examples now of how to actually trade it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Boeing. We're gonna go on the daily time frame here. Actually, we're gonna go on like a 2-hour time frame. So we can see Boeing here, right? We start to see a very classic, support line up here, or sorry, support down here, resistance line up here, right? So let me go ahead and actually draw that in the chart here. So we have a resistance up here, support down here, right? So what happens, right? Price is in balance, right? Price is in a fair market of value, right? We have an equal number of buyers and sellers in this area, okay? So now when price comes up, we break out here, right? What is happening, right? We have the retail, traders who are buying this breakout. You have people who are in short with their stop loss right above this high. And so we get that spike, right? And that spike comes from, again, retail traders buying this breakout and then stop losses getting triggered. And instead of breaking out, price actually comes way lower, right? We come down, we immediately come back inside this 215 level. And where do we go? We go right down to the bottom of that balance, okay? Classic trade. So how would I trade this, right? Very, very simple. I would wait for price to see this. I see price comes back down. When price comes back inside of balance, we start heading down. I can get short right around here. Show you this. Get short right around there. Put the stop above that high. Target the other side, okay? Very, very simple. Right, we know that prices want to come down to the other side because this is fair value. We have an equal exchange of buyers and sellers. And when price is fair, it's going to want to, rotate back and forth between each side. Okay? Same thing happens right here. And even on the downside, right? Even before we get to that, price comes down, right? We break below, right? Stop losses get triggered. Retail is now shorting down here. We immediately come back up. We rotate to the other side, right? Same thing right here. Now you have everyone who's, this is a huge consolidation, right? Everyone is seeing this as a bull flag, right? Price comes up. We have this huge, consolidation. Everyone's expecting this bull flag. And when you see that, price comes up right here, right? We hit this high here. Oops, just like that. Retail, everyone's buying this breakout, buying this huge bull flag, right? Everyone's thinking it's going to the moon. What happens? We hit the high at 221. Immediately reverse, right? Immediately go right back down into this 215 range. And when you see that, okay, everyone who bought this breakout, everyone who bought right here, they are all underwater. Everyone's buying this above 215, above 218. Everyone's buying this, expecting a breakout to 230, right? It immediately goes back lower. Everyone who's in long here now needs to sell. Okay, everyone here needs to sell. So what happens, that drives price down. So price comes all the way back down to this 205 area, right? Back to the bottom of that balance. That's exactly what's happening. It's just an auction. This is just what price does. It keeps going back and forth between sellers and buyers. And when you're able to see that, okay, we get that stop hunt above that high and price now comes back inside of balance, we know there's a good chance price is going to want to rotate to the other side down here, okay? It happens, 2 more times, right? Again, we have this huge, consolidation, this flag, whatever you want to call it, right, in this area. Price comes down, right? We have a gap down. Now you have a bunch of people, retail, says, oh, it's gap down, big gap down on news. I'm going to look to get in short, right? They're shorting it for a move lower, right? Everyone's getting in short here. Then what happens? Price starts to drift up. Institutions are buying down here, loading up shares. Everyone who is in long here gets stopped out. We push up. Once we get inside of this 205 level, we go straight to the 215, right? Straight to the other side of that balance. And this keeps on happening. Price just keeps doing this. That's all price is doing. It's just a rotation between buyers and sellers. And if you're able to identify this, you can make a lot of money simply just trading the edges and the ranges, okay? Let me show you another example on coin, right? This one even zooms out even further. Daily chart, right? Let me go ahead and show you here. Right here, very, very clear range, easy to see. We have this very clear support zone here, very clear resistance zone up here, right? Price right here, it's ranging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Very clear balance, okay? One also trick before I show you this example, if you want to find out where balance is, you can also do volume profile. It shows you a very good idea of where balance is. You can see, here we have this huge high volume node here. This is where you're going to find balance, okay? Quick tip for you. But let's go back into it. So we have our resistance up here in this area, right? Somewhere up here. We have our support down in this area, right? Not specific levels, just general area, right? And so what do we notice, right? So price is in balance. We come down. We actually do get a breakout, right? I'm not saying every single time price, comes out of balance, it's going to come back in and rotate, right? Obviously, we have breakouts at certain points. That's how markets move as well. So price comes down, we break out, for over a year, and then we eventually come back. And even a year later, the balance theory, it still works. It still works, okay? We have this balance zone here. Price comes back inside of balance. Where do we go? As soon as we get inside, we rotate right to the other side. Okay, that's all we're doing. We rotate right to the other side. We end up breaking out even more, right? Now you have a bunch of retail, same exact thing, right? Bunch of retail breaking out of this, previous resistance over here. Everyone's getting in long here. Everyone's looking, okay, I'm gonna get long. We're going to the moon, all that. And then what happens, right? Price comes right back inside of the $75 area. We come inside, and where do we go? We rotate right back down. Then we come back up inside, and we rotate right back up. We don't quite hit that 75 level. Again, it's not perfect, right? These levels are not perfect. It's general zones. But you still see the idea, right? You understand what's happening here. You understand that retail is buying up here while institutions and hedge funds are shorting up here, right? And it's just, that's all that's being played. That's all that's happening. It's just a continuous rotation, right? Let me show you another example on AAL, right? Right here. Smaller time frame, right? Go like this. We kind of have this balance zone here, just like this, right? Smaller time frame. We have this, support, resistance, support, all of that. Here we get multiple rejections, right? Price comes down on this wick. We come back in, rotate to the other side. Price comes up, we false breakout, right? Everyone who's getting in long here has to sell when price comes back in. They're getting stopped out. We come back down to the bottom. Same exact thing, okay? The only difference between this and support and resistance really is identifying where there's balance versus just support and just resistance. And the other one is that you're waiting for the false breakout, right? You're waiting for price to just break out first. I'm not, waiting for price to come up to this area and just blindly shorting. No, I'm waiting to see when retail gets in, and then when retail is getting screwed, right, they have to sell all the shares. That's when I decide to go in short. Okay, that's all that's happening. Price comes back in, we go short, and we target down here. Then we break out, right? We actually get the breakout, we consolidate above here, then we come back inside of balance. Come back inside, again, get that false breakout, find some supply, come back inside, and get that rotation down, okay? Again, just like every strategy, this is not going to be 100%, okay? It's not going to be perfect, but it is a way that you can use in your trading to help identify what's actually happening, right? Where's, the institutions, where are they looking to buy? When you see a false breakout and you see price come back inside of balance, okay, we're probably going to want to rotate down to the other side. And this works on all different time frames, okay? All time frames, even down to the minute, okay? It works everywhere, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are interested in becoming a one-on-one student of mine, I have a private mentorship that you can find in the first link in the description down below. We'll hop on weekly calls every single week. You can use my exact strategies, one of them being balance theory, obviously, but I have a lot more proven strategies that I use in my trading to be profitable. So if you guys are interested in that, click the first link in the description. You can get more information and apply to join the Freedom Team. With that being said, guys, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Also, comment down below any other videos I should make, and I'll see you all in the next video.